All right, so what I want to show you here is some additional tools that you can use to help clean up your surface. And, it all depends on, what you're doing. Like I said, is how detailed you want this. Now, if I take a look down here, I want to focus down here. What I did was I turned on the image. So I came over here, turned on my image that I brought in, and I can see that, they have a call out here of a 2.58% slope. So one of the things you can do is if you go down to the bottom right corner, there's this coordinate scroll. If you click on that, it opens up this window here. And you can see as I move my cursor over, it's giving me my northing and easting as well as my surface elevation and my surface slope. So I can use this tool to quickly, kind of check my slopes and my elevations, right? So in here I should be at 22. I'm at 2199, right? So I mean I'm looking pretty good there. Just a matter of where I put my cursor, right? Um, Over here you can see I'm at a 4.57 slope. They're calling for 4.06. That all depends on how this triangulation was done. And if they built this surface in a CAD design program, we don't know how they looks like they probably got a break line down through here, and that changes the contour, the way the contour is sloped. So we could use these contours to make this exactly the way that they have it. Again, that's going to be up to you and what you want to do. I don't think personally don't think it's necessary for the most part. I guess again, there's some different discussions that could be had, but down here is something I want to show you how by adding a break line changes the slope. So if you look here, I'm at like 3.25 and it's supposed to be 2.58, and you can see because it's triangulating like this, and maybe it really should triangulate from here to here. So if you go to surfaces and you click on breakline, you're going to add a breakline. So I'm going to type in the name, added a name as breakline. I'm going to call it DTM. I'm going to use a soft surface sharpness, and I'm going to click. I'm going to add it to the finished ground surface. I'm going to click OK. That basically creates a line string. So you could just draw in a line string like we drew in this break line over here or this break line down through here earlier, and then add it to the surface as a surface member. Okay. So by using this tool though, the break line, it kind of takes out a step for you. You don't have to add it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you know what, I want to draw a line from here, and I'm going to bring it down to, this is my curb, my gutter pan. I'm going to bring it down to here. Okay. Now when I do that, you'll see that it changes the triangulation through here. All right. So now it's triangulating. Let me close this. It's triangulating up to this line here. This line basically becomes a barrier, so that where it was triangulating from here over to here, it now has to use this line. So now when I take a look at this, you can see that my surface slope or my slope in here is, 238, depending on where I pick. Okay. Now, what I can also do, remember, I set a global sampling setting to 5 feet. So that's why it's triangulating to elevation points every 5 feet along this line. Now watch what happens when I go to the properties and I have this line selected, and I change I override the segment length to yes. And instead of 5 feet, let's go ahead and put it at 100. And now what that does is it doesn't, because that line isn't 100, is less than 100 feet. Now it just forces the triangulation to triangulate this way. And now when I take a look at this, you can see that I'm still getting the same slopes, but that may be a better surface for what I'm doing. Okay. If I hold my shift control key down and I roll my wheel, I can exaggerate the slope. All right. So in that case, that may give me better, like I said, better triangulation and a better look, or basically a better slope. And I could do the same thing over here. So what I want to do is I'm going to come in, and instead of using the break line, I just want to show you if I simply draw a line string. Same thing, give it a name, the break line. I click OK. I can do the same thing. I come down here and say I want to go from this point here, and I'm just going to go to the center of that point there. And you can see it didn't automatically update the surface because now I need to add it as a surface member to that surface. So when I click add, now you'll see that it changes it. And again, notice the slope, right, the way the triangles are. So in this case, I would have to override this segment length as well, set it to 100, and now I've updated that. So again, that is maybe a little bit better and more of a result that I want with my triangulation. Again, it may improve it. Now, keep in mind, there's something else we have to keep in mind is that this here is a break between my pavement and my concrete. So adding this line here really isn't going to help me much, isn't going to give me the results that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that break line and I'm going to delete it. And really what I probably should do is come in here and add that break line, okay, over here. So I'm going to pick that point right there, right, because this is where my concrete and asphalt change, and I'm going to put that point there. So that is probably truly what I should have. And if I check my coordinate scroll, you can see, the slope's a little bit different. So maybe I need to, again, adjust this segment here. And this one I want to probably keep as 5, but you can mess around with it and see what happens. That's probably not the results I want. I'm showing you this on purpose because I want to show you that, hey, don't mess with it too much because you might not get the results that you're looking for. All right. More than likely that is what I want to do. And that's the result that I would want to see. And a lot of it's looking at that pattern, right? I see this pattern of triangulation, and that works, okay? You could do the same thing here, but again, this is asphalt, so maybe this does, slope around there. Really kind of up to you. So what we'll do next is we'll add in these contours, and we can add a surface boundary, and we then, I think, are ready to send it out to the field.